Hello again, internet friends. Welcome back to another episode of Little House on the Prairie. This week, I want to share with you the evolution of one of my newer online athletes. Let's call him John. He's a member of Her Majesty's Secret Service, and we want to protect his identity, so we won't reveal his real name or location. So let's just call him John. The reason I want to share John's story with you is because I think his circumstances are very reflective of the majority of the people that I interact with. His goals were similar to the average person. He wants to be stronger. He wants to be in better shape. He wants to be more capable, but he also wants to look better and be healthier. And like most people, he's dealing with some bumps and bruises. He came to me and had a history of shoulder sensitivity and shoulder pain and really wasn't able to do any intensive upper body work when we first started. And so his starting point, I think, is where most people start at. And so I hope by sharing his experience and his transformation, it gives you guys a little bit of inspiration and maybe some tools that you can apply to help you move forward and get past whatever obstacles you might be dealing with now. The first key factor that has allowed John to be as successful as he has been patience and consistency. It's very easy to work hard and be consistent when everything's going well. But when you have a stressful personal life, or you have a very high demand job, or maybe you're facing some injuries or some aches and pains, that's when you really get put to the test as an athlete. Can you continue to show up even when you don't want to be there and you have a lot of other priorities that are demanding your time and attention outside of the gym? And that's very much the circumstance that John was in when we first started. In addition to having some shoulder pain and sensitivity that we had to manage, he has a very high stress, high demand job that requires him to work a lot of hours. And it was pretty common for him to only get 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night. And because of those factors, it actually got to the point where we decided it would be better for him to only train 3 days a week as opposed to 4, because we wanted to give him a training dose that he would be able to recover from. And for a lot of people who experience these things, whether it's stress at work or at school, or you got problems at home, whatever those may be, you're getting less sleep than you need, less sleep than you want, a lot of times that derails people and they stop training. But if you guys can lower the barrier to entry for yourself, if you can find a starting point that's manageable and allows you to be consistent over a long period of time, that's going to take you to levels of performance that you did not know you were capable of, simply because you're going to have successful, productive training sessions, even if they are suboptimal, for months and months and years and years. Because those suboptimal workouts and those suboptimal performances are just going to continue to get better and better and better until they're incredible performances and incredible workouts. And that's going to require that you guys don't get discouraged during the hard and stressful times, so that you can maintain some level of consistency, even if it's only 1 or 2 training sessions a week. And for some of you guys, this is going to require you to put aside your ego and to manage your pride. Because a lot of guys have an all or nothing attitude when it comes to training. And if they can't train exactly how they think they should, and they can't go in and have these awesome 100% to the death workouts, then they just don't want to go in at all. And that all or nothing attitude that they impose upon themselves hurts them in the end, because they don't get in that long-term consistency that's necessary to become really, really good. And so it would be easy for John to say, man, I can't even train 4 days a week like I wanted to. Coach is telling me I have to train 3 days a week now. I don't even want to do this anymore. This isn't even worth it. I've seen guys have that attitude more than a couple of times. And them being discouraged ultimately throws them off the path. And it's the same principle that has to be understood when we were dealing with his shoulder sensitivity and trying to manage that. It would be so easy for him to come into the gym, and I've felt this many times myself. I think everybody's felt it, where they have a little pain or sensitivity, or they have a shoulder injury, and they know they shouldn't go heavier. They know there's a certain exercise or thing that they shouldn't do because that's probably going to get them hurt again. But their pride and their ego dictates their thinking in the gym so much that they think to themselves, man, I came in here to bench heavy. I came in here to lift heavy. I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing these 5-pound exercises for? And so, like I talked about before, either that discouragement or the pride gets in the way, and it stops you from starting to build yourself from a place that's manageable for you and your situation. And because John had the patience and the maturity and the humility to start at that manageable starting point, he went from not being able to do push-ups, not being able to do a bodyweight row, let alone an actual pull-up, to being able to bench heavy and superset that with pull-ups in the same session, which is a world of difference when it comes to his upper body capabilities. So in the end, the things that allowed John to make this great progress, to add 30 pounds to his squat, 30 pounds to his bench, 30 pounds to his deadlift, to lose 30 pounds of body fat, to knock 3 minutes, 2 minutes, something like that off his mile time, it was ultimately the intangibles, the patience, the consistency, and sticking to the plan that allowed him to do those things, and making sure that we found a starting point that was manageable, a workload that he could recover from, a workload that didn't cause pain and sensitivity, and then we could build on that starting point no matter where it was. And so exercise selection, how you organize and structure your training, how many days a week you train, all those things are important. But if you don't have these intangibles, the consistency, the patience, all that, then really those things don't matter. So if you're not happy with the results that you're seeing in the gym, or you have some type of obstacle that you're struggling to overcome, consider those factors. Try and go back to the drawing board. Ask yourself, am I being consistent? Am I being patient? Am I sticking to the plan? Am I starting at a point that is manageable for me? Or am I just on this roller coaster ride of pushing really, really hard and then not pushing enough, pushing really, really hard and then not enough? Because ultimately, you just spin your wheels when you do that and you end up in the same place. Thanks for listening, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, comment down below any questions you might have or things you'd like to see videos on in the future. I love suggestions. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time.